Check, check. Mic, check. I didn't even know that part of my USB had disconnected. Well, actually, it was just my Stream Deck, so I just had to double check on that, make sure that nothing else important was disconnected in any way. But everything appears to be in order, so we can go ahead and begin. Apologies for the delay. Had to take the dogs outside and feed them. So, it's another one of those busy days, because I'm almost done with my video game review. I'm finishing it today, and then it'll be up for you guys before Christmas. I can't wait, because this is gonna, well, actually, you know what? It's probably best if I explain all of this when you guys can see my face. So let's begin, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and that exposure is kind of bright. Let's go ahead and knock that out real quick. I knew it was bright, but I didn't mess with it. I tend to see things that need to be changed, but then I don't mess with it when I need to, so it can kind of throw me off if I'm not careful. But yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another live reading of Fire Force. Today we are going to be checking out volume 18 of the series, titled Dive into the Darkness. Now, going back to what I was saying, this is going to be my first time doing like a video game review, so don't expect it to be on the levels of professionals who do this all the time. This is my first time trying to do like video game reviews and actual video, splicing videos and adding my own commentary and such and transitions and all those sorts of things. This will be my first time doing it. So you'll have to forgive me if it seems a bit amateurish, but I poured a lot of time into it, and I want to say I'm very proud of my work. So let's go ahead and begin with this read through today, because once I'm done with this, I'm going back so I can put the finishing touches, and then I'll be finished. Summary! The fight over Nataku, who just awakened to his Adolaburst powers, became a three-way battle when the Evangelist's goons got between Company 8 and Haijima Industries. Absorbed into the great fiery inferno created by Ritsu's magic, and with his mind taken over by a specter of Rekka, Nataku lost control. He emitted dangerous radiation and beams of light that could raze buildings. This escalated until Nataku almost wiped out all of Tokyo. However, the white-clad Charon deflected the attack onto the moon, and with Kurono's help, Nataku regains control of his former, weaker self. So, the chapters we're going to be going through is chapters 151 all the way down to 159. My Roman numerals is getting better! I just need to make sure I remember the number we're on so I don't question what chapter number we're on. Chapter 151! And we're with the Evangelist, because last we left off we had the Evangelist and Yona talking. His training is complete. That epic intense training already? The time has come. The fiery blast rises. Or rather, Chapter 151. He sets off. The man, Assault! And we have Assault, who we haven't seen since our first dip into the Nether when he was facing Tamaki, and Tamaki's lucky electric lure got the better of him, and he was rendered unconscious by Sister Iris with the good old-fashioned metal pipe. When we clashed with Company 8 in the Nether, I was sent to destroy them all as the specialized slaughter force. But I met an unforeseen assassin. Tamaki Kotatsu. Her innocent appearance belies a terrifying level of shamelessness. It makes my skin crawl. If I am to crush Company 8, I must first bring down that woman. I trained, day after day after day, from sunup to sundown. I trained to resist that shamefully brazen woman. I read naughty magazines. And he's reading a whole bunch of them while watching a whole bunch of videos as well to mentally prepare himself. I don't know, dude. This seems like a way to get yourself distracted. I'm just saying. And it has a woman on screen, moaning. I'm not going to do it. Because I'm not going to do it. From Lavia. What is that? Lascivious? Lascivious. No, lascivious. From lascivious books to bawdy videos, I viewed everything I could get my hands on. I have overcome the female form. Just you wait, Tamaki Kotatsu. It is time! Then we come to Special Fire Cathedral 8, and Tamaki's checking on her locker. And And there's a note inside of it that says dual invite.
I shall await you in the picture-perfect vacant lot in Nichome. Is this some kind of love letter? The bloody fire blast assault?
I commend your bravery in coming alone, Tamaki Kotatsu.
Why would you?
An explanation would be wasted on one who is soon to meet her death. Now die! And he prepares to shoot one of his fire bullets at Tamaki, and she slips, and she goes full spread eagle into full view of Assault. The wrinkle in her undergarments, the sensuality. Curses! I had no idea she was this powerful. And while Tamaki falls on her head, Assault falls over completely done in by another one of Tamaki's lucky lecture lures. It's not the same in real life. Because, a crow flies overhead in these types of series when it's a comedic moment. Then we're back with the evangelist. Assault failed? It would seem this target is rather formidable. And where is he now? He seems to have set off on a new training mission. And Assault is just walking through the dust like he's Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star. I was a fool for thinking I had learned anything from paper and recorded images. Real life, seeing it in real life is a different experience. And so, it is time! And Assault sets off! And it shows Assault wearing a suit as he goes inside of a cabaret, inside of a place called Club Chupacabra. Chupacabra. I get it. And we have someone greeting him. We have like one of the stewards greeting him. Are you hoping to see anyone in particular?
One bottle coming up. Welcome.
What is it?
Itterashai.
I might be saying that wrong.
Welcome.
And then someone's going like,
have your breasts gotten bigger since last time? Oh, Scythe-san, you're crying again? What's wrong?
My daughter refuses to talk to me. What is this place? My entire body is tingling with apprehension. But I must train.
I'm Saki. Nice to meet you.
This is dynamite! As a very blessed woman just walks up and greets herself to Assault. I wonder who this dude saying, my daughter refuses to talk to me. Oh, Scythe-san, my daughter refuses to talk to me. Why does this sound so familiar?
I'm Saki. Nice to meet you.
This is dynamite.
Wait, what's this? Why are you wearing a tuxedo? Did you just sneak out of a wedding? There's something about you. Something special.
There is?
You're not like ordinary men. I can tell.
She's right. I am no ordinary man. There is no reason I should be defeated by Tamaki Kotatsu. Then it shows Assault in the park again. I did not realize I could have such a lively conversation with a female. It may be that I have a gift for dealing with women. Which means, Tamaki Kotatsu, it is time! And then it shows Assault facing off against Tamaki, who somehow had not only her she's just left in a buff with nothing but her gloves and stockings.
No! How?
And then Tamaki's looking at him.
Don't look at
No!
me!
No! Such innocent bashfulness! And he falls unconscious again. Oh, so that answers my question of if you've seen Soul Eater. Oh, yeah, this part I vividly remember from the anime. It's not the same with an amateur. And then more crows appear overhead.
Ahoo! Ahoo!
You are strong, Tamaki Kotatsu. Too strong. I have never encountered such a formidable foe. That is exactly why I must overcome this obstacle. For I am the assassin of the abyss. I am the bloody fire blast Assault. And then we see the wind whipping through a city.
After my third defeat, I found a gusty spot where certain things were likely to occur, and I waited for these occurrences. My finely honed kinetic eyesight would catch every instance,
such as a wind whipping up a woman's dress.
The panties of an amateur. Yeah, I burned their bashful behavior into my retinas.
You know, in most cases, that would be seen as, really high levels of peeping. That is arrest-worthy offenses, and he's literally doing this on purpose.
And my training was complete. I have removed all elements that could lead to my defeat.
Then we cut to Yona. You finally prevailed, haven't you?
I have.
And then Arrow, who's right next to Yona, shoots one of her arrows at Assault, and he blocks it with a single finger.
Your skills haven't diminished in the least to stop my arrow with a single finger.
Assault, you're setting off, aren't you? And then Assault, with his finger still burning, starts riding into a nearby wall, much to the confusion and surprise of Yona as he draws the kanji and words for
I set off.
And he leaves. Being kind of a little bit dramatic there, just burning you saying you about to leave into a wall. Being a bit dramatic. Assault. As Arrow and Yona look at him leave. Then we cut to Tamaki and Kotatsu once more, and they're standing in a field with the wind whipping around.
Seriously, what is your problem? Give it a rest!
This will be the last time.
And then Tamaki's dress starts to fly up a little bit because of the wind, and Assault is unfazed.
I have grown. I can withstand this much.
Even though there's small beads of sweat on him.
Try all you want, but you're wasting your time.
Yes, indeed. Perhaps it is futile, as you say. She's right. I see it, too. The results are clear. No matter how many times I attempt it, I will never win this battle. Because it's not the same with the one you love. It is time.
What? Assault loves Tamaki? What? Okay. And that's the end of chapter 151. Onward to chapter 152. This is Meliodas or Mineta levels of pervertedness, maybe even greater levels. I would say it's even greater because Assault is going to these places and looking up this stuff on purpose just to prepare himself for Tamaki, and yet he keeps failing every time. But that's chapter 150. Chapter 152! Well, 151. Chapter 152, the Oze family. Careful, Assault, she's 15. We're not even going to go down that road. Tokyo Imperial Army Headquarters. General Oze, we received our regular report from the Special Fire Force. Tokyo Imperial Army Integrated Security Operations. General Danro Oze.
I see. You have the regular report from the Special Fire Force. Do you?
Yes, sir. And then doors open, and this soldier walks out.
That was scary. That was so scary.
What happened?
Oh, nothing. I was giving the Special Fire Force report, but General Oze is so intense.
His daughter was really cute, though. Wasn't she at the Yokota Air Base?
No, she's left the army.
I heard she defied General Oze's wishes and joined Special Fire Force Company 8. And then it shows General Oze in his office, and a big old gigantic-looking mansion. And then it cuts to what appears to be Maki in the shower.
Were my arms always this thick?
And it shows Maki in her full musculature. Abs. Muscular arms. And that's as far as my description is going to go. I'm home.
Oh, you're early today.
I had an early shift today. I got relieved early, too. Thanks. As one of these maids greets this person who walks into the house. Criminal investigation is not easy. Tokyo Imperial Army Criminal Investigation Division First Lieutenant Takigi Oze. I wanted to say Takigi, but Takigi would seem too confusing, so I'll say Takagi Oze.
The lady of the house is preparing dinner now. It's been a while since your whole family has been together, hasn't it?
And then it shows a big old spread on a table.
Wow, Mom, this is a real feast. Well, we don't get to eat together every day. Danro-san!
And we see the general, who is drawn in such a way that his eyebrows go through the bordering of the panels. Like okay, normally if a person is standing out of frame in a panel for a manga, their eyebrows would stop where the border is. But Danro, he's drawn in a way where his eyebrows overreach the actual borders, and it's actually on purpose.
Dad.
And it shows General Oze again in another panel, much with a bigger close-up on his face, and his eyebrows are still going over the borders of the panel.
It's been forever since our Maki-chan joined us for dinner.
Mom got a little carried away. I don't know if we can finish all this.
Then we have Takagi. Even General Oze, scowling guardian of the Empire, gets all gooey-eyed in front of his daughter.
Takagi, I didn't know you were home.
It would be exhausting if he had to be the general at home, too. Now, let's eat dinner before it gets cold.
It's really good, Mom.
Nothing beats having dinner together as a family.
I think our company's lieutenant is the only one who can compete with your cooking.
Lieutenant? Hinawa, was it? The man who lured my sweet Maki-chan into that dangerous fire brigade?
Still drawn with his eyebrows overlapping the borders of the panel.
I'm not a delicate little girl anymore,
Maki says as she flexes her arm. And then Takagi is looking at her sister going, "Did you gain more weight?"
No, I did not.
"Let me see your arm again. It was as thick as my waist."
It was not! Takagi, you know it's bad manners to point forks at people.
He's right, Maki-chan. Aren't you working out too much?
No one's gonna want your hand in marriage.
You're the worst, brother! Someday I'll meet a prince on a white horse and fall in love.
It's adorable that you don't let your machismo stop you from dreaming of flowers and wedding bells.
The flip-flopping apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Maki-chan of yore! And she was a delicate, and the Maki from Maki from the past, she was nice, slender, and sweet-looking. Mind you, she's still sweet-looking now, but she's far more muscular.
It's bad manners to flip-flop at the table.
I'm sorry, it's not One Piece. Oh, that's my girlfriend. Takiwaki speaking. I'm in the middle of Din Din White now. When I get a girlfriend, I'm never going to speak this way. Takiwaki?
Kyushu Wushu speaking. I'm in the middle of eating Din Din White now.
I'm never going to do that. But then again, you cannot stop yourself from doing things for the person that you love. So, who knows how that'll go.
Speaking of flip-flopping, I seriously cannot stand your goo-goo gaga-ing, Takagi Oni-chan. It's all well and good to enjoy talking with each other, but let's remember to mind our manners.
Who are you calling a goo-goo gaga baby? Who are you calling a goo-goo gaga baby boy?
Don't worry.
Don't worry, Maki-chan. You can always goo-goo gaga to daddy.
And then the mother gets fed up as her hair starts to fall in front of her face as she goes,
"Can't you jerkwads eat a meal with some darn manners?"
"Wife of the Tokyo Imperial Army's Integrated Security Operations General, Madoka Oze." And everyone sits right back down because I completely forgot that Maki's mom was this way. She's nice and sweet until she gets, ticked off, and then she's all like, "Sit down!" Like Tamari from Naruto. But everyone sits down.
My, this is delicious.
Yes, ma'am.
"This beef is amazing, Mother." Everyone is on their best behavior. Never, because if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Then everyone's washing dishes. Well, not everyone's washing dishes. Some dishes are up on the side while the maid is taking care of them. Thanks. Maki, you told me once that you went to the Nether.
Yeah.
Is this about the guy you're looking for?
Yeah, I'm investigating a district where there's been a series of disappearances. Now we have a report that people in the whole region are noticing a strange smell from the Nether.
The Nether. That place is so scary.
I heard you and Company 8 fought a big battle there. And Maki doesn't say anything when he looks at him. People in the army are starting to hear about the evangelists too, you know.
Well, I have to look into the evangelists. It's my duty as a fire soldier.
Can you handle it?
Company 8 is really tough. I mean, of course, the captain and lieutenant are good, but we have the best rookies around and the greatest engineer in the world.
And then we have General Oze, once again, eyebrows breaking straight through the panel. Then we cut to the Nether. Not actually, it's another entrance to the Nether. A lot different than the one that Company 8 went to a couple of volumes ago. And it's Takagi with, I guess, someone who's traveling with him. So this place leads to the Nether, huh? I didn't think we'd actually get a warrant to go inside. But I guess it just shows how important it is to the Empire to find out about the evangelists. You were at your folks' house yesterday, right? Yeah, we had a family dinner. First time in ages. And Maki-chan was there? What did she say about the Nether? Well, only that she never wants to go back. Seriously? And then they go into the Nether. Be careful. This place is really falling apart. And the report said the strange smell was coming from the Nether. Well, there were a lot of underground facilities in the Empire before the Great Cataclysm. Wow, I'm actually in the Nether. And mind you, they need flashlights because it's just that dark. My dead mother is going to be so mad at me. The source of the smell in the report must be that way. And they just keep walking. Mind you, it's starting to look similar to the same way that Joker and Benimaru took. There are tunnels branching out everywhere. It's like a maze in here. We better not push it. If it looks like we're getting lost, we'll turn back. Good idea. Stop! Huh? It looks like something scraped up the dust on the ground. The tracks are still fresh. They're going that way. As they see footprints and marks on the ground. Fresh, as he said. So that means someone might recently be down there. The machine room. Here it is. I hear something. As Takagi takes out a gun. And then the door creaks open. And it looks like a room where someone may have been strapped down onto like this bed, and there's a skull floating inside a jar in the back. It looks like an experimentation / torture room, slightly. What is this place? And that's the end of chapter 152. Onwards to 153. Orders. And Takagi and his co-worker, fellow officer, they're in this room looking around. What is this? Some kind of laboratory? No idea. You know as well as I do that the military doesn't get any of this information. Take a look at that. And we see some vials, like some canisters on top of this machine, and inside are bugs. A bug? I'd been doing my own research on them, but I never thought I'd get to see the real thing. Apparently the white-clad goons are using these bugs to artificially ignite infernals. You mean this is a white-clad facility? I'd say there's a good chance. Let me see if I can find something. And then apparently it shows the shadow of someone right behind Takagi, and they immediately shift out of focus, but then Takagi spins around and goes, "Who's there?" and shines his light. It's spooky. This is giving me Resident Evil vibes. You know, the type of vibes of when you enter into the facility where you find the regenerators. Who's there? Flashes the light. No one's there. Watch your back. We're not alone. Yeah. Then there's a crunch sound as Takagi has stepped on something. And what he stepped on is a charred corpse. A burnt corpse? No.
That's an infernal.
And we see an infernal's body just sitting there.
What does this mean? It's dead, but its core is still intact.
Show yourself! We know you're there! And the person that pops out is a member of the white-clad evangelists. And he's got a bomb strapped to his chest. He's got a bomb! Get back! As Takagi jumps up in front of his own subordinate as the bomb goes off. And then we see the explosion from outside as it shakes the ground and causes a manhole cover to, jump from its foundation. And the whole area has just gone up in this explosion with Takagi and his subordinate heavily damaged.
Oh, say. Oze!
Then we cut to the hospital. Severe burns to the right arm. Left arm fractured. Lacerations on the face and contusions from head to toe. It'll be 3 months before you're fully recovered, but it's a miracle you're still alive. And what about you? Oh wait, this is his subordinate who was talking to this is his co-officer that was talking to him. We still didn't get his name. I don't think we got his name.
Severe burns to the right arm, left arm fractured. Lacerations on the face and contusions from head to toe. It'll be 3 months before you're fully recovered, but it's a miracle you're still alive. And what about you? You okay? I barely got a scratch, thanks to you. And what happened to that laboratory? Sounds like it was practically destroyed in the aftermath of the explosion. So that was one of the white-clad, huh? If they're willing to blow themselves up, they're more dangerous than I thought. And Maki-chan is fighting these dangerous zealots? This is what that Lieutenant Heinawa wanted Maki to be a part of.
Then we cut to the grand building of the Army Investigations. And it shows General Oze.
My see, then my son is all right. But what are they hiding in the nether? Up until now, all our military organizations have been left in the dark about anything related to the White-Clads. But we are defenders of the Empire. We can't let them keep us out of the loop any longer. Call Captain Honda of Special Fire Force Company 2. Surely he will be eager to get something done as well. Well, surely he will be eager to get something done as well. I will give Company 2 a mission to investigate the nether.
Because he's very intense. Special Fire Cathedral 8! As we have Arthur looking at Silburo, still on the wall.
Silburo, thank you for standing guard, as always.
Do you always have to do that?
Silburo is a tragic and unhappy donkey who has fallen victim to Hinawa's evil experimentation and sprouted cow horns. And yet, he is a blessed and happy donkey who has been taken under the wing of the kind and merciful Night King.
And then it shows Silburo hee-hawing and paper dropping out of its mouth.
What? You've defiled Silburo's mouth with your garbage again!
You devil! You would turn your evil deeds on an animal? Get rid of him! He's an eyesore! And I didn't put the trash there! They're fighting again,
goes Maki.
Here, little Silburo, time for a snack.
And it shows that Maki is the one who's been putting the paper in there.
See? I told you it wasn't me!
As Arthur is just done fighting as Shinra's beating up on him. Then Iris.
Vulcan-san told me that donkeys don't eat paper. And you shouldn't feed it to goats either. What? But the black goat always eats its letters.
Just your typical morning with Company 8. And this is Lisa with Vulcan.
Nothing but idiots.
Then Captain Hinawa with Captain Obi. Well, Lieutenant Hinawa with Captain Obi.
Hinawa, a word?
And then Hinawa is with Obi in an office.
Take a look at this. We got it from the Imperial Army this morning. An investigation of another testing facility? Does this mean the Army is going into the nether?
Specifically Company 2, and it will be a joint operation with us. They're requesting our help.
Because we have experience fighting in the nether.
Right, but the problem is the part written at the very end. Members of Company 8 belong to the Fire Defense Agency. We don't have to comply with military demands. So Hinawa, what do we do? And Hinawa looks even more wide-eyed at this, but he doesn't answer yet. And then Maki comes in,
What is it, sir?
and he slides the letter.
All right. From the Tokyo Imperial Army.
And it shows, requesting assistance. Maki Oze's return in this operation.
What? Wait a minute. What is this?
Orders for you to go back to the army.
But I'm not military anymore. I'm a fire soldier.
Yes, you are, but this came straight from your father, General Oze.
What difference does that make? Obviously, I'm going to stay in Company 8.
I heard your brother was hurt pretty badly during a criminal investigation in the Nether.
Yes, but he's going to be fine.
The White Hoods are getting more radical by the day. Maybe he's worried about you. He is your father.
And Hinawa doesn't say anything. Then Maki.
Oh, please, I'll be fine. Lieutenant Hinawa asked me to join this company, and I'm proud to be a part of it. As I should be, right?
And then Hinawa says,
Maki, go back to the army.
What?
and that's the end of chapter 153, onwards to 154. The Oze Estate! That's not the name of the chapter.
You're leaving the army?
This company is new and short-staffed. From the sound of it, they need all the help they can get. I thought maybe even somebody as green as I am could be of use to them.
But being in the military can be worthwhile too.
Nope. I want to join the Special Fire Force. I want to protect people.
Chapter 154, Chosen Path. And then back to the present. This is actually the first time we get a flashback, and it doesn't have like the black bordering on the actual pages itself.
You want me to go back to the army?
The White Hoods are getting more radical. This is no mission for a sheltered little girl.
I understand.
And Captain Obi is silent.
The lieutenant must still think I'm green.
And then Hinawa's silent. And then it shows like a message board, signed top to bottom, Ikeshi Firefighting Fest, Ping Pong Bungee Tournament Participants. And then right to left, construction notice, keep rats away. And it shows Juggernaut while he's walking with a couple more of his own crew.
A joint operation with Company 8?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a big investigation of the Nether.
Hajiki-senpai!
Something about uncovering a white-clad testing facility. See, I gotta vary up my accents and language and voices more. Then it shows a desk, Maki's desk. That's gone. That's completely empty.
Good morning. It's not opening. The lid on this jar is so tight. I usually get Maki-san to open it for me, but did she really have to go back the same day she got the orders?
And then Captain Obi walks over, and he tries opening the jar.
Well, Maki's the daughter of the general. He probably did it to keep her out of the next mission.
And as he's saying this, he inadvertently kind of breaks the jar instead of actually opening it.
Yeah. Sorry.
As pickle juice is starting to leak out of the jar because he pretty much cracked it to the point where it's leaking all over.
That's why I always got Maki-san to do it. You're too strong.
And when is Maki coming back? And this is Arthur.
Maki-san isn't coming back.
No.
It was her decision.
I'm not listening.
It was her own decision.
La 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 la. It's literally Arthur going like la 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 la.
What are you, 4? I don't like it. I don't like it either. None of us do.
Tokyo Imperial Army Secretarial Division. Wow, they made Maki into a secretary. As capable and as strong as she is, they gave her a cush job. Literally the opposite of what she actually likes to do. I can't imagine going to a job where you're not doing what you're meant to do, what you're talented at. Take it from someone who had to go through 3 different jobs over 10 years in order to find out what I was good at. I can't imagine just being in that job, but you know you are meant for something else. You know your talents are geared towards something else, and you're just at that job. I gotta be careful that I don't stiffen up too much because I can almost, I'm almost. I can't even stretch my arm out enough. Maybe I need to ease up on the workouts a little bit, or at least stretch. I need to stretch before I do workouts because my arm is almost cramping up just from me stretching it. So, I gotta get used to that. I'm sorry.
11 o'clock. This used to be when I finished up the paperwork and started my training.
Here, Secretary Maki. I made you some tea.
Lieutenant General Sugimasa, you shouldn't have. I can make the tea.
Oh, that's all right. You need to sit down and relax, Maki-san.
Why is everyone treating Maki like she's just this precious little flower? Don't they know how strong she is?
Secretary Oze, I'm Captain Hiraoka. Thank you for your hard work.
I'm so glad I got that Hiraoka out in one setting.
Good morning, Captain Hiraoka. They're all being so careful not to upset me.
That's her, General Oze's daughter.
Yeah, she sure is cute. The Scowling Guardian has created an angel. And then we have Maki sitting at her table as we have another secretary coming in.
Good morning. Did you take the morning off today? It's not like there's anything to do. Isn't it nice to work somewhere that's so relaxed? And we're surrounded by our pick of elite soldiers. The pay's not bad either. The perks of being born into the right family. Aha! Right. Girls like us grow up loved by everyone around us. They treat us well, and always tell us how cute we are. That's why we're apparently more lovable and smarter than the average person. We're the perfect choices to be put on display in an elite showcase.
The fact that this woman sees herself as an object? Because she sounds like she's describing like an inanimate object.
Welcome to the secretariatocracy.
Secretaristocracy. Secretaristocracy. Yeah, secretary.
Welcome to the secretaristocracy. Got it? Because we're secretaries.
And then Maki is messing with a number 8 on her desk, which comes from Company 8. And her thinking of Hinawa.
Go back to the army.
What's that? A Company 8 insignia? Oh, this? Yes, I got it as a going-away present.
And as she's messing with the 8, General Oze walks in. Part of me is, when I see Oze, I just think of Fire Lord Ozai. So it's like, Ozai. Lot of O's.
Good morning, Maki-chan.
General Oze? What? Maki-chan?
I'm so happy you've come back to us, Maki-chan.
The Scowling Guardian of the Empire calls his daughter Maki-chan? I'll just leave you two alone.
Thank you.
As the secretary leaves.
I only came back to where I belong. A sheltered girl like me needs to stay in her shelter.
Maki-chan, you're mad at me, aren't you?
And she doesn't answer.
Our deal was that you would protect people. Throwing yourself into dangerous battles was not part of the bargain.
What do you think is going to happen when you take on an occupation that has soldier attached to it? What is a soldier expected to do? Not get involved in matters that require you to save people's lives? Or protect the peace? Or protect a country? Or protect anything? This dude's a general and he's forgotten what the soldier means? On a title?
A military soldier's different from a fire soldier.
No, it isn't! What? What did you think she was gonna be doing? I'm sorry. I'm just wondering about this, man.
Our deal was that you would protect people. Throwing yourself into dangerous battles was not part of the bargain. But I know you're not the kind of person to break your promises. It was that Company 8 Lieutenant Hinawa. He tricked you.
And then Maki's ears prick up because, she owes a lot to Lieutenant Hinawa.
Either way, I'm relieved to have you back. Come talk to me whenever you have time.
Dad didn't do anything wrong. He's just worried about me. So is Lieutenant Hinawa. I'm the one who messed up by never being good enough. I thought I was trying pretty hard. They both asked for so much.
You're not supposed to try hard at your training. You need to be able to breeze through it.
He asks for too much. Maybe I'm just pushing myself too hard. Yeah, shelter girls have their problems too. People just don't understand.
Special Fire Force Base 2. Joint Company 2 and Company 8 Nether Testing Facility Investigation. As we have licked in Company 8, we have licked Obi and Hinawa as we see... We see Captain Honda and his head sticking in a ceiling. Special Fire Force Company 2 Captain Gustav Honda.
I am strengthening my head and neck. Don't mind me. Go ahead and get started.
And then licked. Then let me go over the important points of this mission. And then Honda drops from the ceiling headfirst towards the ground. But his posture does not change.
Indeed. Please continue.
And that's the end of chapter 154. Onwards to 155. Dive into the darkness. Hey, it's the title of the volume. And we got ourselves another security tab in this volume. Give me a sec. Peeling stickers off of paper without destroying a portion of paper should be an art form. Because if you have the patience to tear off a security sticky tab that's on a manga page without tearing it, without tearing the paper itself, you can have the patience for anything. Because let it be someone who tries to rip it off real fast and they end up destroying the page. I have that fear so much. But, back to Licked. There are several establishments in the Tokyo Nether, but most of them were destroyed and buried in the Great Cataclysm, and you'd have to dig through the rubble to get to them. Therefore, we are looking for a facility that's easily accessible without excavation. This narrows down the locations that merit investigation. Thanks to Detective Oze from the Criminal Investigation Division, we have a good idea of where to start.
Indeed.
If we search one spot at a time, we risk alerting the enemy to our presence. I believe we should begin our investigation at every location simultaneously.
Then we'll organize several squadrons and send them all out at once.
Lieutenant Ayabe speaking. If that's the plan, I suggest we put a member of Company 8 in each squadron, since they have experience in the Nether. Then these are the locations we're looking at. Please have your squadrons investigate them all at the same time.
Indeed!
As Honda, who was standing upright, sends himself flying into the air, and then he just lands headfirst right back into that same spot he had his head in the roof.
Attention, Special Fire Force Company 2! I have a message for all fire soldiers! At our 0800 tomorrow morning, we will begin Operation Nether Investigation!
He's very loud, even more, I dare say he's more intense than Oze. Alessio! Sup? We are on chapter 155 of volume 18. Special Fire Cathedral 8.
So you're splitting us all up and putting us in different Company 2 squadrons?
This will be our first mission without Maki. I want you in your best fighting form.
Yes, sir!
Everyone says yes, sir, not just Shinra. Shinra and Hebio Squad. Fire Soldier Shinra, I'm Lieutenant Hebio. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, sir.
I heard you have experience in the Nether. We'll be counting on that.
Well, I can tell you it's dark and really scary. We've never been this split up for a mission before. Will Arthur be okay on his own? I gave them a user's manual, but...
Arthur and Heckler Squad. Gentlemen, all eyes on me. I am Arthur Boyle, the Night King. You will obey my every word.
Hey, I'm in charge here. I'm Lieutenant Heckler.
Huh? Whence hail you, barbarian? You're overstepping your bounds, you fool.
What?
Lieutenant Heckler, according to the Arthur Boyle care manual we received from a Company 8 fire soldier, Shinra literally made a manual for people to know how to deal with Arthur. In such short notice! This man made a manual for Arthur on how to Shinra's smart. Lieutenant Heckler, according to the Arthur Boyle care manual we received from a Company 8 fire soldier, we just have to do something to get him in the right mindset, and he'll be fairly agreeable.
King Arthur, I am the Knight Commander Heckler. I have been given command of this unit. Very well, I leave it to you then.
Shinra, you mad genius. Hinawa and Ango Squadron. Lieutenant Hinawa, I'm glad to have you with us today.
I hope that I can be of assistance.
Hey, what do you think you're...
Let me through! I'm coming with you! Takaji Oze, Criminal Investigation Division. I have clearance to join the operation. Detective Oze? But you're injured.
Oh, wait. Detective Oze? Detective Oze, but you're injured.
It's not a problem. I won't slow you down. I started this investigation and I want to see it through. Detective Oze. So you're Lieutenant Inawa, the man who duped Maki. Duped? If there's an emergency, I'll keep you safe so you can focus on your investigation. I don't need your help. Don't think you can underestimate me because I'm a detective and not a fire soldier.
At least wear a turnout coat.
Thanks. Now, into the nether! Go, go, go!
And everyone starts to walk into the nether, and this nether, who knew that this nether also doubled as like a shopping mall? Yeah, it's like a whole shopping mall down here in the nether. And everyone's making their way through. Tamaki and Lieutenant Kagenashi.
A shopping mall in the nether? It's so creepy.
And Juggernaut. I'm in the same squad as Kotatsu-san. Yes.
You're not scared at all, but you're Juggernaut. We're in the nether, you know.
Huh? It was always dark where I grew up in Xinjiang, so the dark doesn't bother me at all. And then Maki holds on to Juggernaut.
For real? But it's really dark here. Wow.
Kotatsu-san is clinging to me. I wish I hadn't worn so many layers. And then we have Hajiki. You must be Fire Soldier Kotatsu. Juggernaut is always talking about you.
Shh! Hajiki-senpai!
I'm Company 2 Fire Soldier First Class Unit Leader Hajiki. I'm a little forgetful, but I'll try and be a good leader. And as Hajiki puts his hand up, he also manages to pull up all of Tamaki's entire uniform. Excuse me, Hajiki! Hajiki-senpai, what are you doing to Kotatsu-san?
No way! Was that my fault?
This stupid lucky lecture learn never stops!
As it shows Tamaki almost in the buff from just this one slip-up.
Why is she stripping? Did I forget something? Lucky lecture lure.
Hajiki-senpai, what are you doing? Did I do...
Do you think they have hospitals in the nether? Did I do something? Did I lose my memories again?
And it shows Juggernaut holding his fingers out because Tamaki is somehow just completely naked all of a sudden. But you're right, the opposite clothes gags are paired together. Tamaki, who seems to always lose her clothes, and Juggernaut, who's double, triple, and quadrupled up on them. But then there's an explosion in the distance.
Ah! What is it this time? A burning lecture lure?
What? An explosion!
Medic!
And as we're going through the mall, we have Licht checking out all these old toys. Licht and Ohana Squad.
This looks like the place in that zombie movie I saw the other day.
Lieutenant Onawa, we need you over here, sir.
What's wrong?
Huh? As we see a whole crowd of infernals making their way through the mall. There are zombies in the nether. Because some of these infernals have arms missing. And everyone starts opening. Why did this man have to say zombies? Because now we got a whole crowd of infernals just making their way through the mall now. And everyone starts opening fire. And we have Captain Obi along with Captain Honda.
Infernals? In the nether? And so many of them.
And then one of these infernals grabs onto a fire soldier from Company 2, and it explodes.
There are all kinds of bodies lying around the nether. No one bothered to clean them up after the Great Cataclysm. And the Ashen Flame isn't the only order of knights working for the Evangelists. Let's go. Knights of the Purple Haze.
And the person who's commanding these Purple Haze Knights is Ritsu, the Necropyromancer. And that's the end of chapter 155. Onwards to 156. Flags. I'm starting to get memories of watching this episode. And it shows these fire soldiers opening fire on these zombie infernals. Ashes as ashes. May thy soul return to the great flame of fire. Lotto. And they just keep shooting them. And while one of them shooting, the one of them is thinking, when my next mission's over, Natasha, let's you and me get married.
You've made me so happy, Jonas.
Then this fire soldier named Jonas gets jumped by an infernal. Jonas! And Jonas gets blown up. He was gonna get married. This man was gonna get married. They got Jonas! Dang it! I'll have some time off so I can be home when the babies do.
I'm sure he'll be an energetic boy, just like you, Anton.
Then Anton gets killed by an infernal, with the infernal digging its hands into his chest. Anton! Fire! Fire! When this next mission is over, I am so putting you on, my brand new little sneaker you. And this fire soldier almost gets jumped by another infernal, but Captain Honda comes sailing in and completely extinguishes this infernal just with a single headbutt. This man has a headbutt as powerful as Hulk's from Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction. It's a special move called Critical Pain, where it's just a super headbutt that destroys everything in your path until you hit your target. This is what Captain Honda has. He has the Critical Pain headbutt special from Hulk. But he completely extinguishes Infernal before this dude dies. Why couldn't he have done this for the other two? One dude was gonna get married. Another was waiting for the day for his child to be born. But the dude who gets saved is the one who wants to wear a shoe! I'm upset. Why those other two die? Where was Captain Honda? Why did he take so long? Where were you? Why did the family man, the soon-to-be family man, and the soon-to-be husband, why did they die? But the dude that wants to wear some Air Jordans, and it's literally like some Air Jordans because you see someone with their arms stretched out. You see them with legs stretched out and arms up, but it's, instead of Air Jordans, it's Air Johnsons because both their arms, the image arms are up. But the shoe guy, his name is now Shoe Guy. He gets saved by Captain Honda.
Are you all right? Be careful!
Whew, I'm lucky my flashback was so pathetic. Yes. Because his flashback was so pathetic he got to live. But the ones who had reasons to live died. I don't know how I feel about this dude living while the other two died. Never mind. He got killed too. Anton? As the body of Anton stood back up and stabbed this shoe dude through the back. Now it's all even. It's all good now. I can't believe I'm saying this. Now everyone. It's not just him. He was momentarily saved because Anton's body stood back up and stabbed him through the back. Okay. It's odd for me to say, like, okay, we're good now, everyone's dead, but I shouldn't be saying that so casually, you know? But he gets stabbed through the back by Anton, who we literally just saw have his chest rip open.
The fallen soldiers, there.
And we see in the distance that among the infernals, we now see the former bodies of the once dead Company 2 soldiers standing right back up again. Licht and Ohana Squadron. And it shows one zombified fire soldier, firing at Licht and Ohana. The dead soldiers' bodies are moving. This must be that white-clad woman we fought at Haijima, the one who controls corpses.
Necropyro. Have fun killing your fellow fire soldiers.
And then it shows Ohana. Getting shot in the head. getting shot in the head, and he falls right next to Licht. Then Ohana's body gets back up. And this is one I remember vividly. I remember this one vividly. When Ohana gets killed, Licht is right next to him, and his body is slumped off to the side, but his back towards Licht. In the anime, here in the manga, his body just falls backwards. And then he suddenly gets back up after Licht. But the difference between the manga and the anime is that in the anime, he has his back turned towards Licht, and then his whole head turns all the way around to look at Licht in a super creepy manner. So there's a difference between the anime and the manga. See, I'm starting to get to the parts where I remember the most because they were the most recent for the episodes. But he gets up and he starts chasing after Licht. Oh, that's right! Somebody help! Somebody from Company 8! Then it shows a whole bunch of Infernals grabbing on to Juggernaut. Ah! Let go! Let go of me!
Juggernaut!
Ugh, you are so hopeless!
As Hajiki opens fires on Juggernaut. Hajiki-senpai, you could have hit me if I weren't so bundled up like that. That would have been close.
Relax, I know what's going on under your coat. You usually lean to the left, right?
No, to the right. You are so forgetful, Hajiki-senpai. As all the parts of Juggernaut suddenly erupt right back into clothes again, as if he didn't just have most of his body completely blown apart.
All of those shots and not one of them hit you?
Well, yeah. Nothing can hit a person with this much padding, you know?
What?
Both of you hide behind me. Fire Soldier Kotatsu, if you would start the extinguishing prayer.
As a whole bunch of Infernals start to circle around Hajiki, and he just opens fire. He opens fire on all of these Infernals, and one of them looks like they're getting close, and he's just flipping. He's literally not. Some parts he's aiming at them, and some parts he's just flipping his gun around and firing it upside down in ways that you would normally not see a person wield a gun. And he ends up blowing the head off of another Infernal. And some jump behind him.
Lieutenant Leader Hajiki, behind you!
And Hajiki literally is just moving this gun around like it's a pair of nunchucks. He's just flipping it behind him, still firing, and he's still taking down every single Infernal. He's using this gun as if it was like a physical weapon, rather than it being like an aim weapon. He's just whipping it around him, like all over the places, and he's just still hitting all of his shots. Man, this dude's aim is better than the people from Wanted.
Whoa, that's some fancy shooting.
Isn't it beautiful? Wish I could do that.
It's like Unit Leader Hajiki has eyes in the back of his head.
Hajiki-senpai played as a non-powered in the Rookie Games 5 years ago and was named Rookie of the Year.
What? He's non-powered?
No, he's just so forgetful. He forgot to put his powers on the application. But he does have them in his eyes. He can see the heat radiating from objects like a thermal imager. He can even see his target through walls. Also, this dude's got detective vision. This dude's got that detective vision you see in so many games, which allows you to see through walls and hear people that no ordinary human can. This dude's got detective mode from the Arkham series. He can even see his target through walls, so he knew exactly where the target was when the game started. You will rescue everyone, requesting aid, and then make your way to the officer playing the Infernal.
So he's up there on the 4th floor, eh?
Is that how he managed to turn you into Swiss cheese without actually hitting you?
Yup, Hajiki-senpai can see under all my layers. And then Hajiki is just firing over and over, and this man, he sees a gun on the ground, and he flips it up into his hands, and he just starts doing gun kata. This man is using these guns like tonfas, spinning them around all over and shooting all over. You know, in the early seasons of RWBY, where everyone's fighting was, top notch before it started to really taper off, where I think it was Sun versus what is his name? Something Torch. Torchwick, him, fighting him, and he had the shotgun nunchucks. Yeah, Hajiki is just wielding these guns, these fully auto guns, as if they're nunchucks, and he's just blowing apart all these infernals. I gotta watch this scene in the anime. And then it just shows... Then it just shows him standing in this massive circle of smoke after extinguishing every infernal on his own. And then a bullet casing falls out of the air, and he catches it in his mouth, and then holds the bullet, still sizzling, on his tongue, going,
"There. Extinguishing complete."
Thanks. It's really nice having you around, Hajiki-senpai. We got separated from our group. Can you find the other fire soldiers with your powers, unit leader Hajiki?
Yeah, I see him. Let's go meet up.
Then we see a tall, white-clad figure standing in the middle of the hallway.
Wait, that's...
And then... Oh my goodness! I don't remember that! As soon as Hajiki says, wait, that's... His head is separated. Not just the entire head, like everything from this part up gets cut off completely, and you see the top half, this top portion of his head flying off of the base of his skull. And we see Hajiki's body just fall to the ground with the lower half open. You see his tongue. You see it bleeding out. I forgot I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. Good God! His head gets cut off completely. And his head lands with him staring at Juggernaut and Tamaki. And we have this individual who we can now see as a woman because of obvious reasons.
I am Orochi of the Knights of the Purple Haze, she who cutteth her enemies to pieces.
Much to the horror of Juggernaut. Much to the horror of Juggernaut and Tamaki. And that's the end of chapter 156, onwards to 157, Battle of Resolve. And it just shows Hajiki's head sitting there with Juggernaut crying his eyes out. And then he trips over a stone going, No, Hajiki-senpai!
Cease your shouting. You'll be following him soon. Juggernaut. He's in complete shock. I have to do something.
Think they censored it slightly by making it his whole head instead of most of his head. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what they did. I'm gonna watch the episode. But Tamaki starts channeling up her powers.
She took out unit leader Hajiki just like that. What did she use? What's her weapon? If unit leader Hajiki couldn't dodge her attack, even with his infrared eyes, there's no way I can dodge it. But if the attack is made of flame, then I have high fire resistance. I might be able to survive it.
And while she's thinking, she gets hit so fast that she can't even fully respond.
Uh-huh.
And it shows Tamaki as she has a cut mark on her shoulder, as this attack went straight through her uniform.
Well.
As it shows Tamaki then getting hit by numerous blows over and over again. It looks like this person's using a whip.
Can you withstand this?
As Tamaki gets whipped over and over. And it's hurting her because we see blood.
How fun. I tried to sliceth you up, but my attack bounces back at me. 'Tis something akin to hitting a rubber ball.
And this woman is just beating up on Tamaki with this whip.
If I cannot slice you, I shall simply skewer you.
As she's standing on top of Tamaki and preparing to stab her. And she stabs towards Tamaki, but Tamaki is doing her best to resist it.
'Tis only a matter of time before I gouge a hole in your belly.
And she's screaming out in pain because this woman is trying to stab and skewer Tamaki with this weapon of hers, which apparently she can solidify to make into like an actual jabbing weapon.
The higher your resistance, the more you suffer. I'll put you out of your misery.
And then Tamaki, with as much consciousness as she can muster, she's thinking back to when Shinra said,
If you find yourself in trouble again, you can call me anytime.
Kusakabe, help me, hero!
And then this woman is hit in the face by a big old blast all of a sudden. And Tamaki is surprised to see that the one who did it was Juggernaut! You!
That's a 2.
And then we see this woman finally take her hood off and we see her face, and she's got a bruise on her face. Then we see her entire face. And we have a flashback to when Juggernaut was there with Hajiki. Fire! Oh, come on. You're scared of the fire from this little lighter? There's no big or small when something is scary. And you're such a big guy, too. If you're gonna be such a scaredy cat, you'll never be able to fight for the love of your life.
And no one would ever give me a second glance anyway.
It's about time. I'll stop all my whining. As it shows Juggernaut, and it shows him standing tall over this woman. And you see his shadow so big over her. She's literally looking up at him like, this is one of those moments where Kenpachi's size is exaggerated in Bleach. Like when he was fighting Noitora Gilga, where his shadow is just hovering over them. Juggernaut is having his Kenpachi shadow moment. And there's a rumbling sound as Juggernaut stands over this white-clad woman. And he immediately punches. He immediately tries to punch this woman, but his armor layer gets destroyed because she's turned her weapon into a whip. But Juggernaut, with his layers, creates a brand new arm again. I remember bits and pieces of this moment, but I can't wait to read through it. This made me love Juggernaut so much. And the whip crackles from this woman as he thinks,
Don't be afraid of the flames.
You've got that insane amount of firepower inside you. I bet there's courage in you somewhere, too. That's just as big as you are.
Hajiki-senpai, I'm sorry. If I hadn't been so pathetic, I will fight for Kotatsu-san.
And then it shows this woman creating a cat of nine tails from her whip, like an actual cat of nine tails made out of flame. And they're crackling and they're snapping. And then Juggernaut launches his arms up and he turns his arms into full-on Gatling guns. I love this boy. Oh, I love him.
I'm strong and I am big.
And that's the end of chapter 156. Well, no, 157, onwards to 158. Juggernaut!
Don't you know who I am?
As it shows Juggernaut firing his big old giant fire gatlings at this white-clad woman.
Medusa whip.
And she whips and spins it in a way that deflects all the bullets.
You're blocking all my bullets?
Behold the sheer quantity and spin on the Medusa whip.
And the whip itself spins fast enough and it slices through Juggernaut's fire gatlings.
I iron wall myself by turning my whip to defense, and at the same time, the quantity rageth violently as I attack. The Medusa whip. Behold!
As the fire flares up, and it looks like it's about to attack Juggernaut. And mind you, she took both his arms, but
Your strategy is merely to throw projectiles around. Child's play.
Okay then, as Juggernaut creates brand new arms again.
HSR, human to surface rocket!
As he launches a human to surface rocket towards this white-clad woman, and it just completely explodes, enveloping her. But she's completely safe because her Medusa whip is so powerful that it literally stopped the blast from even touching her. Wish this chapter was tilted sometimes, but I ain't disappointed. Like Dutch angles, for the whole fight, and instead of just being like up and down, regular lateral, it will just be like Dutch angles and tilted to the side. Is that what you mean?
Still nothing?
You and your lukewarm surface attack. You're in the nether! As she whips into Juggernaut once more. What's going on within your coat? First a lass with high fire resistance. Now a hollow shell of a man. So many challenging targets today. As she uses her whip to just completely pierce through Juggernaut's body. It seems I've hit you at last, as we see actual blood come out of a spot where she pierces through.
Jug. She's tough. Juggernaut!
Kotatsu-san! Don't worry, Kotatsu-san. I swear I won't let her beat me. I will avenge Hajiki-senpai. I can't be a coward forever. Tilted as in a title of something? Oh. Wish this chapter was tilted something. But I ain't disappointed. Tilted as in a title of something. Oh, titled. Oh, sorry. I saw titled in the L. I was thinking tilted. Wish this chapter was titled something else, but I ain't disappointed in it. Oh. I feel like with this chapter, I think Juggernaut should be fine. I think it should be fine. But then we go back to Xing Qing Dao in a flashback.
Takeru, so this is where you've been hiding.
Ma, I don't want to join the fire force. Let me stay and tend to the potatoes.
I can't, Takeru. You're a third-generation pyro fighter, you hear? We can't go ignoring that. It's too dangerous. You got no choice but to join that Tokyo Fire Force, or you might even hurt your beloved taters, you hear? Ugh.
And then it shows Hachiki, who's, who punches Juggernaut in his stomach. Hey!
Ugh.
You're a grown man, aren't you? So stop freaking out.
Don't ask me to do that, Hachiki-senpai. I can't.
You'll never protect anyone like that.
I only came here because I had to. I didn't want to be a fire soldier. This is a job for brave people. A guy like me could never have landed.
I don't know about that. You know yourself better than anyone. Are you sure you can't do it? Then back to his mom.
Takeru, you got such tiny little fight in that great big body of yours. But there's a fire inside that's as big as your body now, and your ma couldn't be prouder. I'm happy with little things. I'm happy attending to my I'm happy attending my potatoes. No, you silly boy. This potato field ain't no little thing, you hear?
As we see this ginormous potato field. It's so far you can't even see the end of it on the horizon. That's how big it is. And my thing is, this whole family takes care of this giant field by themselves? Or do they got people who travel all the way down there? Because it looks like it goes for miles.
It's no job for a little man.
And then we have Juggernaut, who uses like an even bigger missile right there in the present going, I'm big, and I'm a fire soldier. And Juggernaut brings this big old missile down towards his white clad. And he tries to use it, but this woman blasts it away with her whip again.
You're a slag whose only skill is to get hit. Cease your struggling.
As it shows Juggernaut, and his clothes getting torn even more, and more blood is dripping from him.
Juggernaut!
It seemeth my whip has finally found your insides.
I'm going to be a man. I'm going to be brave.
As he pops up his arm again with a brand new hand.
You shall never lay a finger on me.
As this white-clad woman whips her whip forward, and Juggernaut keeps recreating more and more clothes. Every time she lops off a piece, another brand new piece of clothing pops up in its place. And she just whips them all over while Juggernaut keeps creating more replacements.
I shall turn you into mincemeat.
And in some places, Juggernaut gets hit in his face and in his side, but he's undeterred. And now Juggernaut creates this big old Buster Bomb in his hand, and he starts to drive it forward. And every time this woman tries to slice off the hand, a new one gets created, and the same bomb is still right there. And when she tries to cut off his leg, a new one appears underneath his clothes. Much to the surprise of Tamaki. Then it shows the face of Juggernaut as he's staring at this woman. His eyes are like partially open, but they're just whited over as if like this dude is on a rampage. You can't stop him. And it just shows this. And then this woman goes, "What is he? He's not stopping." And then it shows Juggernaut getting pierced through his chest. And this time it actually hits the mark because he starts coughing up blood from underneath like the covering of his coat. But he still has that eye of, "I'm not stopping." And his last clothing replacement gets sliced off. And then his real hand is out there in the open. And you just see him standing over this woman, bringing down this entire Buster Bomb, preparing to bring it down on her with his real hand this time. And she's just completely in awe. And then she whips her whip forward, and it looks like it seems Juggernaut's hand gets cut off. His whole hand gets cut off, but the bomb itself still goes. And it hits her in the face to the point where it like dents in her face. And then not only her, but the bomb hit the ground. I think he straight up killed this woman because it shows the bomb going through her body. It's not like hitting her body and then exploding. It's showing it piercing through her body completely. And even parts of her face is getting burned, but it pierces through her body, and then the bomb hits its trigger, and the entire room goes up in this big, gigantic explosion. And that is the end of chapter 158. Onwards to 159, and I believe this is the last chapter for this volume. Chapter 159, Enemy Contact! And the whole area just dissipates. The whole area starts to quiet down, but there's rubble falling everywhere because of the shockwave of this explosion. And it has Tamaki.
Juggernaut!
And Juggernaut is up against the wall.
Juggernaut!
And she's surprised to see that Takaru has lost his right hand.
We have to stop the bleeding. We need to get out of here before the Infernals come back. No, Kotatsu-san. Save yourself. I don't think I can stand up. I can't feel my left leg. I think she got that too. But I can't leave you. You need to get away from here. I'm just dead weight. If you take me with you, you'll never make it out. But I feel like I did it. I was finally man enough to fill my own big shoes. You were amazing. You beat one of the White Hoods all on your own. I owe it all to you, Kotatsu-san. You helped me avenge Hachiki-senpai. You gave me the courage to be a man. Now I have no regrets. I do wish I could have seen my potato field in Xingqingdao one last time, but I'm happy enough to have you here. So I guess that's asking too much. I can die happy sleeping underground, just like a potato. Don't be stupid! You dug up your potatoes, didn't you? A potato's journey isn't done until it's above ground. Juggernaut?
And then Juggernaut's quiet. And then it shows more Infernals and the beheaded body of Hajiki standing up right behind Tamaki. And she has this angered look on her face.
I'm taking Juggernaut back up, and you can't stop me!
As it shows Tamaki donning her fire powers as she's preparing to take down all these Infernals, including the beheaded body of Hajiki. Now we're back with Detective Oze and Lieutenant Hinawa, and they're facing off against zombies.
He's dead!
Dang it! Fire! Fire! We've already lost him!
This must be the work of the Evangelist's goons.
And you had Maki fighting these dangerous nut jobs? Then I assume you put her in the rear guard where she would be safe?
No, we had her up front as a meat shield, obviously.
And the fact that Hina was just so casual about it.
You used my sister as a meat shield?
And then it shows an infernal directly in front of Takagi as he screams out, "Yeah!" But it gets gunned down by Hinawa.
This is a battlefield. Please focus.
You were the one saying... And then all of a sudden, the whole area in front of them gets engulfed in fire. But the fire doesn't touch Hinawa and Takagi because Takagi has pyrokinetic abilities as well.
They just keep coming. So what is it this time?
I am Iron, of the Knights of the Purple Haze. I will incinerate you pieces of overworld dung.
White Hoods.
And it's a very big white-hooded individual. And then Hinawa's looking and he takes fire at this big burly white and at night, at Iron. He takes fire, he fires on Iron, but it doesn't look like it does anything.
Announcing himself on the battlefield. He's as foolish as Arthur.
What was that? A mosquito?
My gun doesn't work on him. But how? I still have things to ask you about Maki. Get behind me!
Ha! Your lukewarm attacks could never even scratch my flesh of iron. As it shows that the part of his hood that was once white starts to turn black all of a sudden. And it looks like he gets even bigger. Like he was big before, but it looks like he grows in size. And now we're with Shinra, and he's by himself.
My squad all panicked and ran. How many are dead? All those lives snuffed out just like that. Life. Focus. Feel the life.
And then something appears to try and hit Shinra from behind, and he immediately dodges. And then whatever tried to hit him immediately runs away, and then two slashes come through the dark, and he dodges away from it again.
Who's there?
And then we just see the dark.
Dang it, it's too dark.
And then Shinra uses the fire from his feet to light the area, and the person who's attacking him is Dr. Giovanni. It's been a while, Shinra Kusakabe.
Dr. Giovanni! In the nether again! What are you plotting this time? The lab detective O's they found... That was yours! That was yours too? How many people have you killed? What are you trying to do down here? Answer me!
The lab was nothing more than bait, and your little fire force fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Shinra Kusakabe, you will be joining your brother and coming with us.
Show? Where is he?
I'm customized for battle now. This won't be the same as last time.
As Shinra clashes with Dr. Giovanni.
He can't use his arms if he's blocking. I'll knock him away with my free foot!
And then when Shinra tries to, fire shoots out from the sides. Fire shoots out from the sides of Dr. Giovanni, keeping him from actually kicking him.
Huh? Did something graze me?
And we see something wriggling underneath Dr. Giovanni's coat.
Did I not just say this time will be different? I've raised this body's compatibility with the bugs.
Compatibility? What did you do to yourself?
And it shows Dr. Giovanni while we have like the silhouettes and outlines of different bugs and different creatures right behind him, but we don't know what's under that. To be continued in Volume 19. We got a short translation notes here, and then we can call it a session. Translation notes. Juggernaut, page 2. In Japanese, jaga means potato, hence the nickname Jaganoto, or Juggernaut. Scowling Guardian of the Empire, page 37. More specifically, General Oze's original nickname is Neo of the Empire. Neo refers to the guardian deities of Buddhist temples, often depicted in statue form. They are big, intimidating, and wear perpetual scowls. So that explains a lot about Maki's dad. The black goat always eats his letters, page 61. This is a reference to a famous Japanese children's song, Yagi-san no Yubin, meaning roughly goat mail, which sings the tale of white goat writing a letter to black goat, who eats it without reading it. The only solution is to write a letter to White Goat asking what was in the letter, but White Goat in turn eats Black Goat's letter without reading it, and on in endless repeat. Lucky Let Your Lure, page 101. In anime and manga, romantic comedies sometimes use a trope of the lucky tsukebe, or the lucky lecher. The trope occurs when some miraculous incident results in one lucky... Hold on. Am I dropping frames? Am I good? I want to make sure that nothing is being skipped over while I continue. Yeah, we're still good. We're still good. Nothing's happened. The trope occurs when some miraculous incident results in one lucky young man accidentally finding his hands on a woman's chest or catching sight of her undergarments. Flags, page 109. In the world of Japanese entertainment, the world flag is used to describe an action or event that acts as foreshadowing. Most commonly, flags signal either future romantic developments between characters or a character's untimely demise. Flag and frag are pronounced the same way in Japanese. She who cutteth her enemies to pieces. Page 127. Orochi has a habit of using words in grammar that sound like an old-fashioned knight, but the correctness of her usage is often questionable. Did I forget that her name was Orochi this whole time? Her name was Orochi, and I kept calling her white-clad woman because I was so into the story I completely forgot her name. The woman that was beaten by Juggernaut was Orochi. Just called Orochi. I can't believe I forgot her name. My apologies. But that looks to be the end of the translation notes. Yeah, that's the end of translation notes, and thus the end of Volume 18 of Fire Force. Join me tomorrow as we continue with Volume 19 and get ever closer towards, past where the anime is. So I'm really looking forward to it. But I'm done, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really enjoying reading Fire Force for all of you. I love doing the voices for everybody because I feel for me, ever since I started doing voices for characters in all my read-throughs, I simply just can't read it normally. I can't. I always feel like when I'm reading it live for all of you, I gotta read it dramatically and with voices to make it even more immersive, especially since I'm not showing the images because I'm not trying to get in trouble again. So I just want to say that this is such a blessing for me to be able to do this for all of you because I'm enjoying myself, and I hope you all are as well. 3 more volumes to post anime content. Super excited to see you read through that material. That is where peak Fire Force starts. Can't wait. To be fair, don't even know where her name is even revealed. I mean, her name was revealed in the same chapter. She called herself Orochi of the Purple Haze. That's when she introduced herself before her hood even came off. I just forgot. But that's all I got for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. Well, as soon as I get done here, I'm going to put the finishing touches on my 2023 game review video, and then I'm going to rest because I've been spending a lot of time on it. Like, we know it's Orochi now, but it's not like her name is called out. Yeah, I know. But yes, I'm done. All I can say to everyone right here, right now, is hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, subscribe, even become a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!